A very good morning uh, to the respected speakers of the day, guests, all the delegates from various institutions and our host institution. Very pleasant morning, and I'm your host, Sheikh Asha Begum, Associate Professor in the Department of Pharmacy Practice of Nirmala College of Pharmacy. Welcome you all for the international webinar on Community Connect, Entrepreneurial Concept, Decoding Pharmaceutical Care Everywhere, in collaboration with Association of Community Pharmacists of India. I extend my warm welcome to the speakers of the day, Dr. Anant Naik Nagappa sir and Dr. Mahadev Bhatt sir, for today's webinar. A hearty welcome to you, sir. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Before we start the session, let me take the opportunity to introduce a college to all the delegates. The Nirmala College of Pharmacy is a self-financed institution established by the Society of Catechist Sisters of St. Anne, Andhra Pradesh, India, and is affiliated to Acharya Nagarjuna University, Guntur, Andhra Pradesh. The institution is approved under UGC 12B, accredited by NAC with A grade. The institution also got placed 83rd rank in NIRF ranking in the pharmacy sector, which is released by MHRD for the academic year 2022. The institution has received Best Performer Award in ATL ranking during the year 2021. The institution also established AICTE Institution Innovation Council at the Nirmala block and conducting the programs associated with IPR, innovation, startups, and entrepreneurship. The college is approved by AICTE PCI New Delhi. The college is also established Doctor of Pharmacy in 2013. PharmD PB courses were also introduced in the year 2017. So the PharmD program mission of the institution is to prepare competent pharmacists capable of providing high quality pharmaceutical services and striving for excellence and innovation in patient care, research, and community wellness. So the institution is running with various PharmD goals to achieve excellence in pharmacy education and community wellness, distinction in leadership skills and pharmaceutical research. So the PharmD program prepares the graduates to apply scientific knowledge in pharmaceutical practice to provide optimum patient care. With this brief introduction about the college and the PharmD program in our institute, let me take the opportunity to invite the Secretary and Correspondent of Nirmala College of Pharmacy, Reverend Sister G. Nirmala Jyoti Garu, to address the gathering for the welcome message. Hearty welcome to you, Sister. Sister, please unmute yourself, sister.
Thank you, madam. You're audible now?
Okay. Yes, sister.
Good morning, everyone. I heartily welcome the respected resource persons of today's session, Dr. Mahadev Bhatt, the retired clinical and community pharmacist from Los Angeles, USA, and Dr. Anant Naik Nagappa, the National President and ACPI, on the theme of today's session, Entrepreneurial Concept, Decoding Pharmaceutical Care Everywhere. So I'm also glad to welcome all the dear participants and the delegates of today's session. So dear participants from various institutions and from our own institution, very good morning to all. So we are now embarking on another learning journey. The primary objective of today's session is to create an awareness where we are learning about the pharmaceutical care and its significance for the community here in India. So we aim to explore that how we can replicate the models of pharmaceutical care everywhere, because without the pharmaceutical care and whatever we are doing, it is in isolation and it remains invisible and inadequate. I hope so. So it is a crucial aspect that we must address in India to raise an awareness about the pharmacy profession, especially pharmacy practice and pharmaceutical care among the PharmD students. So it is a great platform where you could learn and achieve many things from our resource persons. And there are many pharmaceutical companies are there and manufacturing facilities are there approved by the authorities. But the pharmacist plays a very, very important role, especially to ensure the patient safety. And here our resource for the eminent personalities are there, where they can enlighten and elaborate on this topic and the importance of the pharmacist who plays a very, very important role in checking the drug information, drug interactions, and dispensing the medication. So also the community pharmacy involves a group of individuals where they're coming together to counsel the patients and to provide the drug information to the public. So therefore, it is a very significant privilege for you, dear participants, to gain the foundational knowledge about this field and to understand how it can benefit your future endeavors. So I wish you all the best for the day. God bless you. Have a fruitful day. And once again, I invite the eminent personalities of today's resource persons, Dr. Mahadev Bhatt and Anant Nayak Garu. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation. And please elaborate and enlighten our students and our dear participants on this topic. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sister, for your such warm welcome to our speakers and the delegates for the day and giving us a brief introduction about the importance of today's international webinar. Now it's time to invite the Professor and Principal of Nirmala College of Pharmacy, Dr. S.K. Abdul Rahman, sir, to address the audience. Sir, welcome to you.
Thank you, Asha madam. Am I audible, madam?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So very good morning to all. I am very much happy to be a part of this international webinar. The theme of the international webinar is Community Connect, Entrepreneurship Concept, and Pharmaceutical Care Everywhere. So this is the theme we came forward to connect the pharmacy professionals. In this context, my hearty welcome to the Dr. Mahadev Bhatt Garu from USA, Dr. Anant Nayak Nagappa Garu. So both of them respected pharmacy professionals, eminent pharmacy professionals. So they are coming forward and they would like to enlighten about these roles and responsibilities of the community pharmacists. And these two eminent personalities, they would like to spread the awareness, the exact responsibilities of pharmacists, and also to take care about the society and public. So in this regard, these two eminent people, they would like to explore about the pharmacist role, community pharmacist role to the pharmacy professionals, the teachers and also to the students. So coming to the actual roles and responsibilities presenting by WHO, processing of prescriptions. This is one of the key point enlightened by the WHO for the pharmacy professionals. Processing of prescriptions, then dispensing of the medicines, followed by patient counseling, drug information services, health promotion, health screening services, reporting the ADRs, and consulting to the general practitioners. These are the most important the roles and responsibilities highlighted by World Health Organization. So in addition to today, in this the brief summary of WHO guidelines, both the eminent personality going to be highlight the exact the role of the community pharmacist, and they are going to be deliver a broad area of explaining about the responsibilities. So here the Department of Pharmacology and Pharmacy Practice coming forward and conducting this international webinar to our pharmacy professionals of Nirmala College of Pharmacy and also the registered pharmacist. I am happy and big congratulations to the Department of Pharmacy Practice and Pharmacology and the team of faculty members, those who are working under this, and the special thanks to the convener, coordinator of this program, Dr. T. Vinay Kumar sir, and their team members. And so thank you for giving me this great opportunity to share my views about the community pharmacist roles and responsibilities. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, sir, for your warm welcome message and introduction about the program. So, dear delegates, today we'll be passing through the topics by our speakers about wind blowing from west to east and pharmaceutical care everywhere, along with pharmacy practice regulations, which are updated as of now. So on this behalf, I take the privilege of inviting the coordinator of today's international webinar, Head of the Department of Pharmacology and Pharmacy Practice, Dr. T. Vinay Kumar sir, to introduce the first session speaker, that is Dr. Anant Nayak Nagappa sir, to all the audience. Sir, welcome to you.
Am I audible? Okay. So I'm very glad to be act as coordinator for this international webinar on Community Connect Entrepreneurial Concept, Decoding Pharmaceutical Care Everywhere. So heartily welcome today's resource persons, Dr. Mahadev Bhatt sir from USA, Los Angeles, and Dr. Anant Nagappa, Director, Amity Institute of Pharmacy, Amity University. So today we'll start with the first session by the resource person, Dr. Anant Nayak Nagappa. So let me introduce about the first resource person. So sir is working as Director, Amity Institute of Pharmacy, Amity University, Madhya Pradesh, India. Sir has completed his PhD in pharmacology from BITS Pilani, Rajasthan. And Sir has done his post-graduation M.Pharmacy in pharmacology from Government College of Pharmacy, Bangalore, and passed B.Pharm from Government College of Pharmacy, Bangalore, India. And Sir has acted as director at Amity Institute of Pharmacy, SES College of Pharmacy, and also acted as professor for Manipal College of Pharmacy, BITS Pilani, SES College of Pharmacy, and also Sir has led many more academic positions. And Sir is also been having 3 years of industrial experience, and Sir has taken over various funded research works from the government bodies worth of more than 10 lakhs. And Sir has various academic honors and awards along with invited talks. His academic visits abroad include Singapore, Malaysia, USA, Switzerland, Netherlands, Scotland, Turkey, and many more countries. And also, Sir has been authored 2 textbooks as well, and he has played crucial role in clinical trials. And also, Sir has almost 100 national and 72 international publications. And currently, Sir is acting as a member of various bodies like FIP. Once again, I would like to welcome Sir Dr. Anant Nayak Nagappa sir for delivering the first scientific session of today's webinar. So hearty welcome, sir.
Sir, session is over to you. Dr. Nagappa sir, you can hand over the session to yourself and proceed, sir. Thank you so much. Sir, kindly unmute yourself, sir.
I have shared my PowerPoint presentation. You can share it on the screen. Hello. Sorry for the interruption. I want to speak on the medicines which are not simple. This thing. Even when you buy a ceiling fan or an air conditioner or any other gadget, they will give a customer care information, customer service information. Whereas medicines are hazardous, the pharmacists know very well, but still in our country, in India, we ignore. We ignore to an extent that nothing can happen even if I consume medicines. Nothing can happen if I store medicines like any other commodities. So there is no question. There is no question asked by any of the consumers while purchasing the medicine. See, here the responsibility is to be shared. See, the first in the line is the manufacturer. He is supposed to take interest that no adverse drug reactions, nothing can happen. That's why they have been asked to do the pharmacovigilance for their own products which they sell in the country. And they have to send a report to the government. They are doing it sincerely. That's why jobs in pharmacovigilance have gone up in the country. Similarly, when it comes to the end user is the patient or the health consumer. To him also, there is a responsibility by the manufacturer, by the doctor, by the nurse, by the pharmacist. So these things have remained unattended or remained silent, and because there is nobody is questioning. Our people, as you know, they are very innocent. They don't ask anything, and as a result of it, they will not take interest. So this one, after visiting various countries, I come to an understanding that the pharmacists who are the final point in the drug dispensing link, the lot of responsibility is bestowed upon him, and that is also been shown by our government by introducing an act called as Pharmacy Practice Regulations 2015. Then the pharmacy practice regulations, what they are. So since 2015, the act has come and there is nobody to implement. So the act simply is a law for the syllabus of the pharmacy students and nothing more than that. Like Magic Remedies Act, this act also is, Pharmacy Practice Regulations also is there. Even for that matter, the Pharmacy Act also is being mocked. There are so many violations of the Pharmacy Act. Like that, I would like to quote an example here. So the Pharmacy Act in our country is mocked because the Act clearly mentions the presence of a pharmacist while medicines are dispensed. Under the supervision of a pharmacist, registered pharmacist should be dispensed. But that law is sidelined. And as a result of it, we see a lot of unnecessary persons. And the pharmacy is not a professional business, but it is a family business. Like that, we see so many people unrelated, not knowing about anything about drugs. They are handling the medical shop, where we call it as the community pharmacist. Is it correct? Is it not the responsibility of a learned pharmacist to inform the patient who is purchasing medicines, in the medical shops? This is how the things are gone wrong in our country, and now it is time to correct it. Since then, I have been engaged with this in 2008. Before also, I was engaged. So my lifetime mission is we must improve the professional respect through services Through services, we can improve the things. I have not shared my screen. Where is that? I'm not getting my screen. Can you please put the screen? Only that brochure is there.
Yes, sir.
That screen you are not shared. That my presentation I have sent already. That you can start. So as a result of this, we have a very complex approach to the drugs, and as there are so many drug-related mishaps happen day to day, but nobody is going to count it. As a result of it, the things go nicely. So this way we cannot live further, because health is very important, and many people who are using these drugs, they should be aware to that these can do harm. When I was a young boy, my father had a medical shop. So in that medical shop, I used to go and sit, and then I used to look at the product. It is in 1963. Every medicine which is to be sold on prescription was inscribed in red letters as a poison. The things have changed now that poison has vanished, but the poison has remained as a poison only. There are so many historical episodes, mishaps happened due to uh, uh, due to ignorance and due to non-systematic approach of using the drugs. So to put an end or to address this issue, the developed nations like USA, Canada, and UK, Europe, whole Europe, and even New Zealand, Australia, Malaysia have come out with a better approach. They have got a system. Like that system says that a pharmacist is a registered pharmacist should be having the latest knowledge. This latest knowledge is ensured by giving a license. The license should be to earn the license, one has to clear the examination. And once he clears the examination, that's not the end of it. He has to periodically renew his license. So as a result of it, the pharmacist is informed and is having the latest knowledge, and he is rewarded like anything. I tell you, the pharmacists in the abroad, they are going to get a huge amount of salaries because they are qualified, they are knowledgeable, they are dependable, and they give the useful information to the persons who are using the drugs. So this is how the things are in the other countries, whereas in our country, you can use any drug like anything. You can misuse antibiotics. You can because they themselves pharmacists are not pseudo pharmacists. So they don't know what will happen to them if they consume the drugs like that. And if that's why they are dispensing drugs without prescription. The prescription drugs are sold without prescription. What is this nonsense? And it's only an academic this thing shop, that's all. The pharmacist registration and all the things are mockery, and we have to change our system. We have to bring a system wherein the registered pharmacist with an updated knowledge is always responsible at the helm of affairs, and he should take the care of this thing. So as a result of this, we can improve the professional standing and we can become this thing. So in the current scenario, after looking at the inventory, what I have in the country, I have the teachers and I have the students. So we thought that the students and teachers can be useful in this achieving the changeover of our system. So as a result of it, we are going and knocking every college door and asking them to give us 1.5 hours time, wherein we will speak about how the drugs are to be used, what is the limitations of the drugs. Drugs is not everything. First of all, this mindset should go. So for every pill, every ill, there's a pill. That is the belief of our public and the patients. So whenever they get some problem, they will rush and they will eat a pill. Is it so? Is it the medicine is so safe that one can use and can become healthy. I don't, you also know it already, that any medicines are prepared for a particular situation, particular circumstances, particular disease. So you must appropriately match. Otherwise, there is a mismatch. Otherwise, there is a mismatch. And this mismatch is happening in our country like anything. So we have been writing Man Ki Baat already 6 months. Every month I write to Prime Minister to pay attention to this aspect of our profession. We are being called as the world pharmacy. Means globally, India is the best pharmacy field. But Indians, especially Indians in India, are suffering due to lack of pharmaceutical care service. So this is why this lecture is been arranged. And I would like to briefly talk about the law which is enacted in 2015, which we thought at the time that this will be the game changer, but the game is not over. The law may come and again in 2021 they revised it also, but there is no interest or there is no political push. There is no regulatory push. There is nothing like that. As a result of it, we can still see the many pharmacies without pharmacists. So the people are suppose are misled. They have a problem of to whom to approach. So when they go to their illness to a doctor, doctor will write a prescription and hand over, and it is not his job. He will not be an expert in medicine. First of all, you will have to understand. He will be briefed about medicines by pharmaceutical industry, which they want to do it in an extensive manner to gain an economic mileage, to win a competition. For them, it is a competition. For them, there is a brand name. So there is nothing like patient-centric care. It's a product-centric care. WHO already warned that many countries who are having a product-centric care are misleading the public, and those people are suffering. Those citizens are suffering. Those health consumers are suffering. So what we should do now? So they have clearly mentioned the government. They're emphasizing that switch over to patient-centric care. Forget about the products. Medicines are manufactured for the usefulness of public and patients. But here medicines are causing problems because of non-system approach. Non-system. Can I have the first slide, please? So this is the, you can roll back and bring the, yeah. Here, no, the first one. Still up. You go for the first one. Bharat Rajya Patra. Roll one more slide. One more slide. No, not up. Up. Moving slides up. No, you're coming down. I want you to make this the very first slide. Very first slide. No. One more slide is there. Yes. This is Gazette of India. Now you go to the Gazette of India. Second slide. The Gazette of India, we all know it is a government document, a sacred government document, and it is enacted in 2015, January 15, to make the pharmaceutical care available to the public of India. What it says, let us look at it. Can I move to the next slide, please? Please change the slide. Next slide. Definitions. So the first is the pharmacy practice is the interpretation, evaluation, and implementation. These are three important steps in providing the pharmaceutical care. Interpretation. So whenever a prescription is handed over to you by a patient in a community setting, the people will come and buy the medicines from a medical shop, And there the registered pharmacist should interpret, means he should understand with his professional knowledge, he will be able to understand what are the medicines prescribed, what for these medicines are prescribed, what is the use of medicine, and what is the dose they have made. All these interpretation he has to check. Doctor also is a human being. He may do error. The information is so much so that it is the individual pharmacist who has to look at it. It is his responsibility. And evaluation. The evaluation means interact with the patient and find out what the patient is what the patient wants, and then the evaluation, and then implementation. Then make a care plan and explain it to the patient. This is how the three-step procedure is to be done by the pharmacist. Not only that, here the pharmacists are to encourage the pharmacists. This act provides participation in drug and device selection. What drug to be taken, what devices should be used. This selection is done in a teamwork, doctor, nurse, and the pharmacist. But we have to see that such a thing will happen so that each profession is made to expertise in one of the aspects of the drug, because the information is so wide that a single profession cannot handle it. That's why the teamwork, the participation, and drug administration also is one of the additional responsibility given to the pharmacist, although it is the primary responsibility of the nurse. So the drug regimen reviews, it's very important. The drug regimen reviews. So we have to do the drug regimen reviews regularly so that we will understand which drug is being used, what is the consequence of using that drug over a long period, what it can, this is, for example, this is a very important
Dr. Ananta, you need to unmute.
Okay, sorry. The code of ethics are very, very important, and every profession has its own ethics because it will give an discipline and an identity to the public. If you go abroad, the pharmacists always wear a white apron while they are on the job, and they'll have their own identity. Means the public will know that he is a pharmacist. But look at our country. It is only the use of the lab coat by this thing, and we hesitate. See, such attitudes are not good. So we have to think, we have to change our attitude, and we must always wear a clean, ironed white apron while we are providing services in the pharmacy. People are really confused, and they don't wear the white aprons. You go to pharmacy, you don't know who is the pharmacist. So if you wear a white coat, a pharmacist wears a white coat, people will understand that person who is wearing a white coat is a pharmacist. So like that, very, very small things are neglected. And talking about the ethics are very, very important. it is like the dharma. There is nobody can force anybody to follow ethics. But in the bigger understanding of dharma, dharmo rakshiti rakshita. See, if you follow and practice dharma, that will help others also to do the same good things to you, and we can remain happy and safe and healthy. If we do not follow the ethics, then the others also will look at it, and they will also start doing it. It's like a disease, it spreads from one person to other person, and profession, it has reached full circle. So now, what are the ethical issues with the community pharmacy? So we get lured by the schemes, 10 1 free. We are more interested in selling the products. Why we should sell more products? Because we earn more money by that. So, but in abroad, pharmacists are not interested in selling more and more products because they get earning from either from government or from public or from insurance companies. So pharmacists are looking into the welfare of the patient. A product-centric market will be established. The patient-centric approach is to be established instead of the product-centric approach. So as a result of it, we can find so many injustice happening, and people are now complaining that why we are having such problems. So we have opened a pharmacy and we don't know what to do with that, because the business is coming down due to heavy competition by discount wars. So there are chain medical shops which offer 20%, 25%. A standalone pharmacy or a single pharmacy where he was having a good business, where he was a good report, that is gone now. People won't trust the pharmacist. They know very well that he is a businessman. He wants to earn profit by selling the medicines. Nothing more than that. There is no idea that he is a healthcare professional. Such a unprofessional practice done over several decades has landed us into such a situation. We are now to change our industry. Please put an appropriate slide. Please change the slide and put it in an appropriate manner. Not this. You go to the beginning. Code of ethics. You come to the code of ethics. So I want to tell a small story here. My father was a pharmacist, and I was an 8-year-old boy. And I used to go and sit in his shop in my free time. So in that time, he used to, how he became a pharmacist is also an interesting story. Because in those times, in 1963, Karnataka government had no pharmacy schools, and there is no much education available. So what they did was, in 1955, I think, 1955, they gave an advertisement in the newspaper telling that those who can read and write English, are eligible to sell medicines, and for that they have to come for a 3 weeks training. So they called for a 3 weeks training in the drugs control department, and there in 3 weeks they have given so much of information that they could not understand, and also the information was in English, and they came and they were asked to permitted to open a medical shop. So in such a way, the pharmacists were made available quickly because it was an emergency situation, and immediately after independence, what should have been done. So now what is happening? So after that, my father came and opened a medical shop in his hometown, and there he found that he doesn't know anything about the medicine. Now how to make up? So here is the intention, where there's a will, there's a way, and the medical representatives are to come to the doctors and also to the pharmacies to sell the products. My father used to discuss with them, be friendly with each medical representative, and ask them what they have discussed with the doctor. So now they will explain everything because they are also happy to share that this person is actively listening. So like that, they gave a small brief presentation what they used to give in front of the doctors. So like that, continuously he did within 3 years. He learned about the products what he is selling and what are the other aspects of the drugs. He became a well-versed person, and it has resulted in sometimes doctor used to come and discuss with my father when there is no information, when there is information was required. So this is the person, this is the story, and this man, my father, I'm very proud of my father because I tell you one of his noble qualities. In those days, in a place like Harihar, a small township near Davangere, and there he established a medical shop. And there are so many villages around, and people used to got bitten by snake, and they used to come and they needed a medicine for that. That medicine was manufactured. Anti-snake venom was manufactured by the uh, Hopkins Institute, and it has a very short expiry. Within 6 months there, after that it should be used, and it should be stored in refrigerator, all these things. And moreover, the 500 rupees in 1960, it is a very huge amount, and people dared that will not stock that medicine. And then my father took the leadership, and he stored the medicine in his shop, and it has helped him in his business. So many people, I still remember, in the night time they used to knock our doors, and my father used to go there and hand over the medicine and save a life of a snake bitten patient. So this is how my father made a reputation, and it went on. And also there's a message here, and he became very popular in his community. And as he became very prosperous, he diversified into other businesses, and he forgot the medical shop from where he has developed his career. So then what happened once day, as usual, he became very prosperous, and which is by nature of law, anything goes up has to come down. Same thing happened. His friend cheated him, and he has become a bankrupt. And then he thought of medical shop. He came and set in the medical shop. At that time, the people of Harihar, the community of Harihar, supported him like anything. They used to go to the doctor and get a prescription, and that medicine which is to be taken by them uh, was was first checked whether our medical shop has it or not. If it is not available, then they used to go to other shop. So this is how they supported my father for 2 to 3 years. Within no time, my father reviewed his business. Similarly, the doctors also, because they know that this person is a good ethical person, and he is needed by the community, and community never expresses in openly, but it has expressed in deeds and made my father a very good this thing. He could revive his economic situation with the help of the community support. Doctors, many people helped, and even the distributors, everybody helped him because he was very much ethical. That's why I tell you, my friends, ethics are very important. And if you want to grow and stand strong in the profession, you should be a staunch follower of your ethics, although it is disadvantageous, although it is unattractive, although it doesn't pay you money immediately, although it isolates you, because very few people are ethical minded. Very few. That's why very few leaders are there in our society. Please understand that. And let me go to the next slide. So the law permits here in our country the remuneration for providing services to the patients. But it is only in the words. There is no government backup. We must always, we must say that the government should step in here, because the government has a lot of money. Now we have to re-establish our profession with the support of the government, with the support of the insurance company, with the support of the patients. And the mindset can only be changed in the pharmacy by providing this thing. See, in Australia, my classmate Sridhar Bhatt practices there. Recently, he said that there is an $18 Australian dollar is given as an incentive for a pharmacist, for a registered pharmacist, for providing pharmaceutical care services. So this is the thinking of the Australia, and same thinking prevails in USA or even in Europe and even in Singapore and many other developed countries and developing countries also. So even in Dubai also they pay very good money. That's why many of our students go and work there. And this thing. I want to quote an example here. My student Pradeep Damodaran, he is and his wife Sunita were having a small community pharmacy in the Kamloops. Kamloops is a small village in the Vancouver of Canada, and there I visited him and I saw him that he is been respected like anything. He was identified in the community, and I asked him, can I visit his pharmacy once? So he permitted me, and when I went, I saw that people are queuing after getting the medicines. They are standing in queues to have a word with the uh, Pradeep or Sunita to learn about the medicine and the disease and other things. We don't find such a thing in our country. See, the people are not even to spend 1 minute extra in the pharmacy. Such a bad attitude we are having that the people are not interested in talking about the drug, disease, and lifestyle. And when they go home, they will be in a complete messy situation because they have not asked, because doctor will never explain about medicines in an elaborate way as a pharmacist, because it is the bounden duty of the pharmacist to explain these things. So please, to build a respect for the pharmacist should take the lead, the teacher should take the lead and do the pharmaceutical care wherever possible in the free time. I also asked the pharmacy council, state pharmacy council, and the saying, teachers they can practice. There are various teachers in England, especially in the Scotland. They pharmacists are getting extra remunerated, respected, and this thing. And Madhav Bhatt will explain you in a better way all these aspects. Can I have the next slide, please? So duties, you all know about it. I don't want to spend much time. Just I will go through it. Overutilization and underutilization of the drug in a prescription, therapeutic duplication, drug-disease interaction, drug-drug interaction, incorrect drug dosage. All these are the potential problems faced by our public or our healthcare system. Pharmacist is the only person who can professionally and effectively solve these kind of issues while in the therapeutics. Next slide, please. So the next slide, please. So how to, next slide, please, because I'm running short of time. So next slide, please. So if a pharmacist does not do his duties properly, unethical practice, if he is caught, there is a punishment also is there to him. So law has been framed, but its implementation is lacking, and situation continues to be like that only. So now it is time for us to wake up and see that the law comes into enforcement and makes the profession as lively, as interesting like in developed countries. Can I have the next slide, please? Can I have the next slide, please? Come out of this law. Come to the case study. So this is one of the interesting story. One of the student called as Devyani Babode came to me while I was in Mysore. She came while I was in Manipal. she came with the idea that I want to do pharmaceutical care for diabetic patients, and she did it. And after that, her course, she established a clinic called a Pharmaceutical Care Center. And then in that, she approached the doctors. The doctors were happy to share the patients to her, and they used to recommend patients. And she continued this business for 2 years. And afterwards, some other family compulsions, she has to close this. So this way, we can, from her, we can learn the model for this thing. So can I have the next slide, please? Come to the act. So some small study by her, not yet published, but we are keeping it in our website. Next study, please. Next. 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 Yeah. So this is a case study. Someone has to read for me now. One male and one female has to repeat it, and then we will solve this class, and then we will end it. Madam?
Sir?
Yeah, please read that case. One male and one female.
Yes, sir. Mrs. W, a 53-year-old woman, has had gastrointestinal acid-related disorders diagnosed by endoscopy. Mrs. W has a history of asthma, hypertension, and duodenal ulcer. A current drug therapy includes amlodipine, salbutamol inhaler, 2 puffs as required, beclomethasone inhaler, 200 mg twice daily, and theophylline, 300 mg twice daily. Mrs. W has recently undergone successful H. pylori eradication therapy, which has been confirmed by carbon urea breath test. Mrs. W smokes 10 cigarettes a day, has a body mass index of 35, and does not drink alcohol.
Okay. Can somebody read this? Someone else repeat this. Male voice is preferred. Repeat the same case, the male voice.
I request Dr. Maharshi sir to take
yeah,
over
please.
and read it, please.
Maharshi sir, please do this. Dr. Maharshi.
Sir, they have some network connection over there, sir. Shall I repeat
Okay,
it, sir?
okay. Some other female which is nearby you, male or female.
Yes, sir.
A 53-year-old woman has an gastrointestinal acid-related disorders diagnosed by endoscopy. Mrs. W has a history of asthma, hypertension, duodenal ulcer. Her current drug therapy includes amlodipine, 10 mg in the morning, salbutamol inhaler, 2 puffs as required, beclomethasone inhaler, 200 mg twice daily, and theophylline, 300 mg twice daily. Mrs. W has recently undergone successful H. pylori eradication therapy, which has been confirmed by carbon urea breath test. Mrs. W smokes 10 cigarettes a day, has a body mass index of 35, and does not drink alcohol.
See, this is a case study from the WHO FIP Handbook on Pharmacy Practice, which is published in 2005. This I have already given to you, or if I have not given, I will send you and to your WhatsApp group. So WhatsApp group is established, madam?
Yes, sir.
So in that I will put it. So please know that See, this is a typical case study, and it gives so much of idea that what pharmacists can do for a particular patient. So, can I have the first slide, please? Next slide, please. So, any case comes to us, we can classify the factors as lifestyle factors, drug factors, and disease factors. So patient counseling is an important responsibility. Practically how it is to be done, I'm telling you now. See, you say that don't smoke, patient is not going to listen because he has an attitude of not accepting which is being told to him on the first hand. So when you connect his suffering to his habit and see that it benefits by not smoking, will definitely motivate him to give up smoking or reduce smoking. In her case, she is a smoker. Nicotine can cause reflux by reducing the lower esophageal sphincter tone. This is a very common knowledge that nicotine is a muscle relaxant, isn't it? It acts only on skeletal muscles, we believe, but it acts on all kinds of muscles. Okay, so it reduces the tone, and as the tone is reduced, the acid which is present in the stomach will bump into esophagus and cause a burning sensation. So, if you tell her that if she does not smoke, if she is smoking 10 cigarettes, you ask her to reduce the cigarettes by 5 and see and count the episodes. Definitely, when the dose of nicotine is less, the episodes of acid burning sensation will also go down. And you can convince and after the patient does experiment by reducing the number of cigarettes, she will understand. So this is how we have to do the counseling. So we must always be very clever, connect their illness, their suffering to the what you want to counsel the patient. Then only it can work. So the drug factors, we are the experts in drug because we are the manufacturers. We study medicinal chemistry, we study the bioavailability, we study so many all aspects of medicine research in a detailed manner in which neither nurse or the doctor does not study. So as a result of it, we are experts of drugs. So calcium channel blockers reduce the esophageal sphincter tone, which can lead to acid reflux also. Here also, what for the calcium channel blockers are used? Can anyone answer? Amlodipine. What for amlodipine is given? What is the use of amlodipine? Very creative, exciting approach. Amlodipine is an antihypertensive. So in antihypertensive chapter, pharmacology, there are 10 different categories of drugs are available. So why calcium channel is to be given? Because it is going to aggravate the burning sensation of a patient. So we can suggest the doctor here, please change the amlodipine to a diuretic like bendrofluoromethazide or bendrofluozide, which will not cause the esophageal sphincter to reflex or relax. That would help. So doctor will also look into the prescription and finds that. So this is a very interesting point a pharmacist has raised. And then theophylline also. Caffeine and theophylline, they are very, very closely related structures. In medicinal chemistry, you know that the caffeine and theophylline are closely related. And theophylline does also have the properties of caffeine. So theophylline is given for what here? Theophylline is given for treatment of asthma, isn't it? Here also, review of asthma management is very, very important, and de-prescribing can happen here if the asthma is revived. The revision of asthma can be done with a handheld spirometer in which the respiratory volumes of the patient are better. It can be done in pharmacy also. It can be done in the doctor's consulting room also. That if you give it to ask the patient to blow it, and if the respiratory volumes have gone up and are not less cutoff point के ऊपर है, then we can tell him that the patient is not having asthma. And in that case, you can't tell the patient directly. We have some etiquettes. We have to tell the doctors by telephoning. I have checked the respiratory volumes, which are very healthy and it doesn't have any asthma. So you can also measure it and review the asthma and give the treatment. So when the doctor does his revision, he also finds that there is no asthma, and doctors start de-prescribing all asthmatic drugs. This is an addition by the this is the contribution by a pharmacist who will gain respect in the eyes of the doctors. And also, if you do it like everywhere, then it will be a much better. Instead of theophylline, we can also use replace the theophylline with salmeterol if it cannot be done. So that is also will reduce the suffering of the patients. Now coming to the disease factors, duodenal ulcer is such a disease that it can be healed also. There is a H. pylori eradication which will heal the disease, and the acid reflux will come down. So it's such a thing. Huh? Yeah, I'm going to end. So please, the point I already explained. Okay, go to the next slide. Go to the home medication review. I request the Mahadev Bhatt to talk about it. Yeah, next. Come to the last slide. Last slide will come. Last slide. Last slide. This is the community work where we used to do it. You please look at it. So thank you very much. And we have to improve the quality of life by providing a good information to the patient and also service to the patient. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anantanayak Nagappa sir. For your presentation.
You can stop these slides and you can put the slides of Mahadev Bhatt.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for telling us your father and yourselves inspiring stories, so that our delegates will take that as an inspiration as well. I think clearly explaining us about the pharmacy practice regulations and giving your students examples and as well as case studies. Thank you so much for your time and the knowledge sharing with all the future pharmacists, sir. Now it's time to start the second session of the day, Dr. Mahadev Bhatt sir. For this, I request the coordinator of the program, Dr. T. Vinay Kumar sir, to introduce Dr. Mahadev Bhatt sir to all of us. Welcome to you, sir.
So, thank you, Anantanath sir, for such an enlightening presentation on community pharmacist roles. So now we are moving to the second presentation of today's webinar by Dr. Mahadev Bhatt sir. Sir, I heartily welcome you, sir, for delivering the presentation. So let me introduce about Dr. Mahadev Bhatt sir. Sir is a retired clinical pharmacist, and he came to USA right after his pharmacy graduation in 1972. Sir have done all part of pharmacy over last 50 years here in the USA. Sir has experience of 18 years industry in drugs and cosmetic and nutraceuticals in various positions such as R&D director, plant manager, operation manager. Sir has worked for 12 years in hospital pharmacy as a director. For over 8 years, Sir used to own 4 community pharmacies with home health care, injectable preparations, diabetic care, asthma care, osteoporosis center, breast cancer counseling center, geriatric pharmacy care, hospital care, then sold everything. He joined Valgreen Retail Chain Pharmacy in 2003 as a community pharmacist, and finally he has been retired from his services in 2015 from Valgreen Pharmacy. Sir, once again, welcome you for giving the presentation. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Can you put up the slides, please? There are only 10 or 30, I think 13 slides, so if you can load it up. Okay. It's almost 10:30, so how much time, I don't know, you are going to give it to me, but I will try to do it as soon as possible, okay? Why do I call Community Connect as an entrepreneurial concept? Now, there is a point of dispensing, where the person can pick up the medication. And there is a place where you take the medication within you. Either you take it at home or you take it in the hospital. Now, there are a lot of different things can be done in between picking up the medication and putting the medication in your mouth. And those classify as a pharmaceutical services. I salute to all the teachers for making India the pharmacy hub of the world. But what you have achieved is that most of the brand name here, you are making the generic drugs out of it and you are sending it here. Here, the minimum salary is $15 an hour. So it is too expensive for them to make the medications. And there is a tremendous high cost of giving the medication to the public, and government has to pay a lot of money. So government wants to reduce the cost of the medication. Now, it's not that by buying a cheap medication you can reduce the cost, but you can manage a drug therapy, or you can do the assessment of the medication you have got, and then you can reduce the medication. Lately, I have been listening that, there is a PharmD course in India, and I see a lot of pictures, and all the PharmD students are, carrying a stethoscope around their neck and walking around, and they would like to prescribe the medication. Prescribing medication is the job of a prescriber. But instead of worrying about prescribing it, why don't we think about de-prescribing the medication and making a quality of life of the patient better? And that's where you can get more money. So when I said the point of dispensing and the point of taking, there are a lot of services are there. And that is what we do here, and that's why they gave us the money. The next slide, please. Now, number one, do you love pharmacy? Do you love what you do? That is the main thing. Or you are just there because you could not get into the medical college, and that's why you joined the pharmacy. And you are expecting your teachers to finish the syllabus, and then you give the exam. So either you will go into the industry or you will go into the academics, and then you become a assistant professor, associate professor. In 19 years, you will become a principal. But do you love what you do? And if I ask a question And I have asked 300 times so far, and I have got the same answer. So I'm not expecting a different answer. Any of the pharmacy student in your college, you can ask them a question. Do they have a medication profile of their immediate family members? If your college is an autonomous college, your parents are spending a lot of money for you. What have you given to them in return? Or do you even know what medications they take? And the same question goes for all the staff members. Do you have a medication profile for your parents, or for your husband, or for your wife, or for your children, or for your neighbor? And that's where the community connects comes into the effect. Now, I'm not going to say that medicine are dangerous. No, because that's why we are there. Because they are dangerous, that's why we are pharmacists. You know, to me, medicine is like a mother. Everybody needs their mom. Everybody needs medication. And the COVID-19 proved that. You know, when nothing worked, people had to take the vaccine. And one thing for sure, nobody goes to a pharmacy or a hospital to say hello or how are you? Or they will go and say that, oh, I like to propose to you today, you know, this is my flower. No. So thing is that if you love something, you will do it no matter what happens. So the whole essence is that what can you do out of the box to love your profession, and you can create innovatively to make more money. Next slide, please. I have sent a lot of pre-reading material to Vinay, and I hope he has given it to you. And if he has not given it to you, then he is supposed to send it to all of you if you have given him his email address. These are some of the terms I am going to use and which are very helpful to make some money. Because at the point of dispensing, there is no data collection. How can you publish a paper if you are an M.Pharm student or a PhD student? Till you don't publish in a reputed journal, you don't get nothing. Even the ranking will not go up, you know. So you need a data. So how to collect data is BMR, HMR, MTM, QUM, ADE, TMR. Those are the terms you all are familiar, 5R. But you have to go more than 5R. And that is the empathy. When people are sick, they need some consideration. They may not be able to give you answer right away, you know, but you have to find out from them that what has happened to them and why you are giving them that medication. For a simple reason, the doctor is very busy. Patient went there and hopefully, you know, they brought a prescription to get the medication, you know. And they gave the prescription for the antibiotic, but he had gone there for a headache. The patient comes to the pharmacy, he says, "These are my prescriptions, you go and give him Levaquin," you know. But did you ask that patient? Then why did you go to the doctor? The doctor was so busy, the nurse might have handed over the mixed prescription for another patient who was in line next to him. So we are talking about ADR and ADE, you know, adverse drug reaction and adverse drugs event. But right up there in the pharmacy, if there is no data collection, how can you do a single ADR? Because you don't know what that guy took it from you. I understand that there was a pharmacovigilance program for a week, and I have been watching a lot of videos from a lot of different colleges. And some people have done good work. Some people are, you know, trying to get the work done. But there is no data collection at the point of dispensing. So does it mean that for every adverse drug reaction, patient has to end up in a hospital? Or he has to go to a doctor? And TMR is like a targeted medication review. What I'm saying is that give a thought to it. and then you can find your own niche, because these are the things are not being done. If you do this thing, then you can make money. The next slide, please. I'm looking at your college website, and I think in your staff there are a lot of females than the male, and they all are PhD. And the India has come up because the women have studied more than the men. In America, during the World War, every man went to the war about the age of 18, and every woman at the age of 18, they went on the assembly line to make the ammunition. So in whichever country woman goes to work, they come up. It is India's turn. We are on the moon right now, and in a practice of pharmacy, there are a lot of things we can achieve to make the patient's life better. I understand that, I think last year I was talking to Manjari, and she told me that she has added nutraceuticals to your B.Pharm course and diploma course. Nutraceuticals are very important. If you have studied your nutraceutical very well, you can avoid a lot of side effects, And how can somebody respect you? You go to a restaurant with your girlfriend or with your boyfriend or with your family. If the guy gives you a good service, you are going to give him a tip, right? That, yeah, he or she took care of my family. Everything came in time. Everything was hot. It was nice. There was ice water and there was a regular water, and somebody wanted a lemon water. He did all those things. So whenever you provide a good service, you can get a respect, But if you just give them a medication, like handing over them a Cadbury chocolate or a Zithromax, doesn't make a difference. He doesn't care. Now, suppose somebody has come to pharmacy and they ask you for, let's pick up the tablet which Dr. Ananta said, amlodipine. And he said, and hopefully he had a prescription, and he says, give me 10 tablets. Doctor had written 30 with 3 refills. Did you think that why he is only picking 10 tablets? No blood pressure medication can stabilize the blood pressure for at least a month. Only after taking the medication for a month, you can find out that this is the right medication for you or not. Do you think that after you gave him the tablet, you will make a phone call to him at home and ask him that, hey, how are you feeling? Here we do that. Within 3 days, if it's a new medication to any patient, we will make a phone call to the patient's home and ask them, how are you doing? And suppose you like a boy or suppose you like a girl and you want to talk to them, don't you say to them, hello, how are you? How are you doing? They are your patients. You are going to make money out of them. Be nice to them. Ask them, how was the blood pressure medication? So try to collect the data so you can analyze, because you have studied in a college, your teachers have taught you a lot of things. But when are you going to use them for analysis? For that, you don't have to be a PharmD, or you don't have to be a M.Pharm, or you don't have to be a PhD. Next slide, please. We all have seen that doctors make a house call, right? Suppose somebody is sick. So, okay, they cannot go to the doctor, or the husband is really busy. So he will say the wife, why don't you call the doctor? She is around the street. They will come and check. And every time the doctor comes, he will give 1 injection. And somehow or other, I never figure out when I was a child that why would everybody, they need an injection, There has to be a reason, but he is trying to make an impression on that since he has come, he would like to get the patient better, so he can have a bioavailability right now, right away. So, and then he will give you the oral medication, so you can do it, so the patient will feel better. In my personal opinion, blood pressure, hyperlipidemia, asthma, osteoporosis are not disease. Those are the body condition. Just think that if you do not have blood pressure, what happens? If that line is straight, bingo, everybody has a blood sugar. Suppose it is below 50, you will know, you will be shivering, But these are the conditions where you need to monitor the patient. There is no one such thing that the patient could have only so many things at so much time. And if you monitor them, they will get better a lot sooner, And monitoring is an ongoing process, and that's where you are going to make the money. And I will give you one example. And I'm just going to take one molecule, which I will repeat twice when I do the clinical study. Say, for example, metoprolol tartrate. Since you guys didn't answer the question to Ananta last time, so I'm not going to ask you to answer this. It is a beta blocker. It is a blood pressure medication. Beta blocker will reduce the frequency for heart rate, or it will cause a lethargy in the heart, so the blood pressure comes down. Now, the doctor says, take this medication at 8 o'clock and take that in the evening at 4 o'clock. Now, suppose that lady is a 40-year-old woman, right? And she has got 2 children. Husband goes to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. The children goes to school at 8:30 or 9. I don't know what time the school starts there. What is the side effect of metoprolol tartrate? See, it slows the heart down. So you don't have to say dizziness. When something is slows down, you feel a little bit lethargic. You feel a little bit tired. So if she takes that medication at that time, she has got a lot of things to do. She has to make the breakfast, she has to get the tiffin ready, and she has to send the children to school. For her, the best time to take the medication is at 10 o'clock. Let everybody out of the house make a nice cup of filter coffee and take a medication and take a breath. Why would she wants to take that medication at 4 o'clock in the evening? She better take when she goes to sleep, because of that side effect of lethargy, she will get a better sleep. This thing is with every single medication. Now, when I say prescriber makes a house call, think if we make a house call and go to people homes and find out what different medications they are taking, we manage their therapy, we look at all the over-the-counter medication, and we tell them which one goes with what. Isn't it a responsibility of a pharmacist to give a good prescription label? In California, there are, I think, 6 questions asked about the prescription label. How would you write it? Each question is 5 points. Now, when you are selling the medication in a strip-wise, you don't give a prescription label to anybody. My grandma never learned to speak English. Wouldn't it be nice then when we go and visit them, you write down the name of the medication, color of the medication, then you can write the instruction, what time to be taken in their own colloquial language. It could be a Kannada or a Telugu or a Tamil or a Malayalam or a Gujarati or a Hindi. How good that patient is going to feel. And if that lady or that person at home is around 70 years old, they don't have to bother their children, or they don't have to bother their son, or they don't have to bother their daughter-in-laws. And you all have got the mobile phone, right? India has the maximum number of mobile phones. So if you tell somebody that I will send you a WhatsApp message, okay, this is a pink color metoprolol tartrate you take at 10 o'clock, and I will remind you. You remind them for 3 days and they will remember how to do it. So you are going to change the habit of adherence of medication. If you do that, you can charge money. Even the student can do that. So the idea of collecting data is, what I'm trying to say is that pick up a health condition, only visit those people and then do it. Now, I have been told that, how are we going to do that? Well, there is another way you can do that. If you got 50 students in a class, let each one of them make a medication profile of their immediate house members and bring it to the school. So now you have got a data. So you can analyze the data and you can find out what are the drug induction and what is happening on and what time they are taking and what is their age and what is the name of their doctor. You can write a paper. I have got a lot of people have written a paper on this thing. This area is completely virgin. The next slide, please. Okay. Here we do free blood pressure check. Okay, and this is the story about a person coming to my pharmacy during the long weekend. It was a 3 days holiday. I think it was Thanksgiving. And by doing this case study, I will show it to you that how many things a pharmacist can do. Okay, and so two people are walking around 3 or 3:30, something like that in between. And I think it was Sunday, if I'm not wrong, because the next Monday I was not working, you know. And I had a technician, her name was Isha, and she was the senior tech. And generally she and I, we always work together. So one girl was around 14 years old and mother was around maybe between around 40 years old, you know. And they both were agitated and they came and said, we would like to measure the blood pressure. So I was looking at her. So I said, Isha, give her the forms, because generally till they don't fill out the form, we don't do anything. Because before we touch their body, we would like to be sure. Otherwise we can get sued, you know. And but the young girl didn't like me telling them to fill the forms out. So she says, aren't you going to check it, the blood pressure, or no? So I said, Isha, why don't you talk to the girl and let me take the blood pressure machine and let me go and check the blood pressure. So I wanted to smooth the thing out. So pharmacists will always find a way. There is no point in arguing with a young girl because she is agitated because her mom is not feeling good. So you can always work around it, but do not break the law. The reason we ask them to fill the form out is that we would like to know what is their date of birth, what is the name of their doctor, and have they been to our pharmacy before or not? And when did they see their doctor last time? So I went out and I did the initial reading. It came pretty high, so I did reading again, but still it came around 237/92. Now this is very high. And your pharmacology department will tell you, you know, generally we need to call the paramedics and transport the patient to the emergency room. So at that point, Isha tells me that they've come inside the pharmacy. So I knew that she found something. So I said, why don't you go out, because she speaks Spanish and Isha is Hispanic. And I said, find out why she is so much agitated. You know, there must be some reason. Something must have happened home, you know, at home, because it's a long weekend. All the relatives comes and talk to each other and they get into fight and things like that, or they when bunch of relatives get together, they always try to blow trumpet, we do better than you and better than this, like that. So she was doing that. I went inside the pharmacy. The patient was our patient for over 3 years. Her current medication was birth control pill, blood pressure medication, metoprolol tartrate, 50 milligram, 1 PO BID by Dr. Leong. In past, she had a recurrent UTI, yeast infection, medication she has taken. Once she had used the plan B, we call it emergency contraceptive, but I don't know what you call it in India, but she was a little late in picking it up. No, she was not. She was just little late. She was not above the limit. But I had made a note. Now remember, I had this data in my pharmacy. The next slide, please. So I got this information. So Isha was still outside. So I said, Isha, why don't you get some coconut water and give it to her, and inform the store manager that, Dev has got a difficult case. So we need some help, around the pharmacy, because he is going to be out of the pharmacy. What the reason I wanted to give her the coconut water, so I thought that if she has not voided her bladder by putting some diuretic, because coconut water contains more potassium, and when you take some little bit of extra potassium, you will, go and pee out, So maybe that might give me a little bit lower blood pressure. At this point, I already knew from Isha, because I was coming out of the pharmacy and Isha was going in, and Isha told me that she has not taken last 3 doses of her blood pressure medication. Now imagine that it was a long weekend. She has not taken 3 doses of beta blocker. Her blood pressure has gone up. And the thing is that to quiet the woman down and take the blood pressure again. And the whole thing happened within 20 minutes, okay? And at that point, I asked her, I said, can you breathe in through your right nostril and breathe out through your left nostril 10 times? And she started laughing. So I was just trying to little bit crack a joke, that if you do that, you will feel better. So once she started smiling, I knew that her blood pressure is coming down. So she did around 3 or 4 times. And I said, ma'am, would you like to go to the bathroom and then come back, and then we will measure your blood pressure? She went to the bathroom. She came back. It was 157/82. The store manager was taking the video because he was informed that we might have to call the paramedics. So at that point, I told him, no, it's all under control. We can send her home. So the next slide, please. I asked Isha to give her 1 tablet of metoprolol tartrate. You have to go to the next slide, please. Yeah, go a little bit up. Yeah, okay. So Isha took out a tablet from the pharmacy, and we asked her to take that tablet right there. And then we told her that you have got a medication at home. You go and take when you go to sleep. Now, why did I give her 1 tablet? The thing is that we had a prescription on file. We know the name of the doctor. Patient had a medication at home, but she didn't have the refill. So as an emergency supply, I gave her 1 tablet. And what I did in this thing, I avoided an unnecessary admission to the emergency room. Because here the cost of an emergency room admission is $7,000. Government will have to pay. So she didn't really had a very heavy hypertensive crisis. Yeah, if it was a catapress, or clonidine, it would have been a different situation. If you miss 3 doses of clonidine, it's going to shoot, the blood BP will shoot off the roof, and you have to manage something. So for that, you have to do that. Now, my duty was not over at this point. Okay. So once the patient left, I came to the pharmacy. I wrote an email to Dr. Leong that your patient was here. We did the following things. We did blood pressure twice. We gave her coconut water. Then we gave her 1 tablet, and then we send her home. But at this point, doctor, I would like to recommend that this patient has a problem adhering to twice-a-day medication. There is a medication called metoprolol succinate 100 milligram extended release once daily tablet, and that should give you a better coverage, and she is the great candidate for that. And I sent that letter, that email to the doctor. On Monday morning, I was not at work, but I got a call from the pharmacy that she and her daughter came back again, and they bought a big cake to the pharmacy, and everybody had it. The next slide, please. You have to go a little bit up. So there are a lot of things you can create within the pharmacy to do the things. In my opinion, to work in a hospital is the most easiest thing in life. You know why? There is a laboratory, there is a pharmacy, there is a nurses, there is a LVN, there is a respiratory therapist, there is a surgery room, there is a doctor. All of them are there. You just have to manage them and give them the things and get things under control. But in a community pharmacy, when the patient is out of the hospital and he is in a community pharmacy, you have to do a lot of things to get the confidence of a patient. And since there is no data collection at the point of dispensing, we have a chance to get the data collection by approaching people. And how do you start that? Ask all of your students to bring the medication profile of their immediate family members. Generally, whenever I had a senior citizen patients, I ask them, when are you going to go to the doctor? Because from the refill, I know when they are going to go. That is a 3 months time. So I will print out a medication profile and give it to them. It was not required by law. It's not that, but I always used to do that because I think that if my mom is going to go to the doctor should know that how many other doctors she has gone before. So fold that paper and give it to them. And when the patient goes with a medication profile and give it to the doctor that these are a current medication, they will appreciate that. He doesn't have to write anything. He will take that paper from you and he will put in his file. So the patient will be treated a lot better, I don't know, I was talking to Vinay or not, but there is a very good example that one time I was in a hospital, I think this is around 1992. I'm talking about, I was called by Dr. Ko that I should go and talk to a patient who has come from India, but he has got a bleeding in the stomach. So either we are going to operate him or you go and find out what medications he is taking. I went to him. That gentleman was taking 17 different kind of NSAID. I said, ye kisne diya ye sab, So he said that I had a leg cramp, so he gave me this medication. Then I had a back pain, severe back pain, so he gave me this medication. Then I had a crooked neck, so he gave me this medication. So I was taking it as and when I want it. But he never said that I should not take them all together. And on top of that, he was taking 4 different kind of protein pump inhibitors. So guy was trying to make a cocktail in his own stomach, trying to do that. He doesn't have to even get drunk. He can just get drunk and get bleeding, He doesn't have to drink alcohol. Now, there are a lot of protein pump inhibitors are over the counters. You don't need a prescription for that. But if there is no data, how can you help them? And where where we are going to start collecting a data. So my request is to all the teachers, especially all the assistant professors, that let us create a generation of pharmacists who will help us to manage the community at a community level, that what medications they are taking. ADR can be done anywhere. It doesn't have to be the doctor's office. But when you did the ADR, did you ask them that, do you want to that medication or shall we get it back? Because you don't want them to take it by mistake again. You have to collect the thing better, because they might take it because they will forget. Okay, I'm almost done. So I'm going to go with, just a second. I didn't say change the slide, okay? I said I'm almost done. Now, there are other clinical examples you can think about. And this has really happened, okay? A woman calls the pharmacy and say that my husband will pick up my birth control medication tonight. So they had a refill, so they filled it. Now that woman was going to go on a vacation, but all of a sudden she had a toothache. So she went to the dentist. So dentist gave her some antibiotics. And they said, you have to do some root canal, you have got some swelling. They said, doctor, I can't do that. I'm going to go on a vacation, for 10 days with my husband. Now she wanted the birth control pill, so she doesn't get her routine period during that time, so they can enjoy the vacation. Now she is taking antibiotics. The doctor said, oh, that's fine. Okay, you take, while you are gone, take this one tablet 4 times a day. And when you come back, we'll do the root canal. So the lady says that, can you send the prescription to the pharmacist? The doctor sent the prescription to the pharmacy. In the evening, patients come to pick up the medication. This is a prescription for pregnancy. The effectiveness of the birth control pill goes down by 17 to 20% when it is taken with the antibiotics. And a woman has a right to plant babies, Sometimes you don't take birth control pill to avoid the pregnancy. No, you take it to regulate your period. And if they would like to plan a baby and they would like to have it, then that's her right. Here you are trying to crush her dream. And all of a sudden she comes back and she is pregnant. So what? You are going to call it a Shivam pharmacy baby or what? That's what the name you are going to give? Because somebody forgot to say anything? Because there was no data collection. See, the patient's counseling is entirely different than doing the medication assessment. Here in America, in Australia, and in Canada, every college has got a MAC, MSc, Medicine Assessment Center. And they are open to general public. And the students will learn when the public will bring all the medication in the home in a brown bag and they will analyze them. Sometimes patients even don't know why they have got this medication, because long-term patients, they forget it. I forget it, Sometimes I forget to go for my walk. So I get a phone call from Kaiser. Hey, Dr. Bhatt, did you go for a walk? How much did you walk? Because your diabetes requires you to walk at least minimum 30 minutes a day. I forgot to refill my medication. Today I got a text message that confirm your date of birth. And as soon as I did that, it came on a WhatsApp, okay? And I did that. So they know that they are talking to the right person. Oh, you got 2 medications coming up and you should have around 10 tablets left. Would you like us to fill that medication? If it is yes, press 1. If it is no, press 2. And if you don't want this message, say N. I didn't even have to make a phone call to them. I said 1, and 2 medications are going to come within 3 days by mail. They do not want people at the at the Kaiser pharmacy, because then they will have to hire more pharmacists. So they say, we'll mail it to you. So there is somebody on an online pharmacy is going to fill that medicine. The same hospital has got an online pharmacy. So I'm in favor of that, but the same thing can be done here. You know, okay. Can I ask you this question? What is the most overprescribed medication in the world? And I think you guys should know that, okay? 1001, 1002, 1003. Cholesterol medication are the most overprescribed medication in the world. There are 5 different kinds of simvastatin. And once you start taking them, within 3 months, you will get a leg cramp. And if you take simvastatin with amlodipine, I was in India in February and I saw one of my friends was taking simvastatin plus amlodipine. Amlodipine within 6 months will cause ankle swelling. Simvastatin will do the same thing too. I don't know why they put these two combination together. So I asked them why. He says, oh, I have to take less number of tablets. I said, that's what your doctor said? He says, yeah. I said, that's very good. Now, I'm coming to nutraceutical. There is a thing called coenzyme CoQ10. Now, if you look at your biochemistry, I studied in 2nd B Pharm, okay? That is in 1972, so please don't say that you haven't studied that. Your teacher must have mentioned, but you haven't paid attention. You remember that ADP and ATP cycle, where everything gets converted into ATP, and that's the way you get energy. And then there is a coenzyme there. Simvastatin blocks that conversion. You take coenzyme Q10, 300 milligram a day, you will have less problems. So these are the things you have studied. If I have studied in 1972 in my biochemistry class, sure, you guys are doing a lot better than me because there are a lot of new things. I had only 8-page syllabus, you know, totally 8 pages, you know, 4 years pharmaceuticals, 2 pages for each year. Look at your syllabus now. You guys are a lot smarter than us. There is another thing which is called magnesium. You know, there is an overuse of protein pump inhibitors. Every time you use a protein pump inhibitors more than 6 weeks, it depletes you from magnesium from the body. Magnesium will increase the soft muscle contractibility, especially in the heart and the legs, you know. So your pumping can happen nicer. Now imagine that aspirin, right? There is an enteric coated aspirin. Okay. Why is it enteric coated? So it dissolves in your, it passes your stomach, right? If that person has taken a protein pump inhibitor, which is a long-acting 24 hours, where is it going to dissolve? In the stomach. And suppose he had a bleeding ulcer. So these are the things we can educate them. And these things you cannot do in patient counseling. What I am talking about is a medication assessment centers, and you collect the data, you set up the appointment with them, sit with them for a 15 minutes, hold their hands and talk to them as if you are talking to your girlfriend, or you are talking to your boyfriend, or you are talking to your mother, or you are talking to your brother, leave him alone, you know, because, or your dad. Bolo, auntie, kya baat hai, kaisa chalta hai, you should do this. Try to find out what is their way of life. And then you do that. And then people will pay you. That's why we get a respect here, because we do those things. I have given a flu shot to 104 years old lady, and she could not come to the pharmacy. Her 89-year-old son came to the pharmacy, 80 years old son came to the pharmacy. And he says, can you come to the car? Mom, what's the flu shot? I said, okay, let me fill up the syringe. I went to the car and I gave it to her. And I said, can you bless me? Because I have never seen a 104-year-old lady. That picture is still in the Walgreens, because the supervisor was coming, no, not the district manager was coming. He says, what happened there? I said, this is my lucky day that I'm giving a shot to this lady. So a lot of things you can do. You all can be an innovator. You all can be an entrepreneur. You just have to let your imagination go. And the teachers, I request you, I beg you, that let us create a generation of service-oriented pharmacy students. Well, it's getting late now. Maybe we will talk some other time. Okay, when I find out, maybe I will talk to your Pharm D students and then we'll go from there. There is a moringa leaves. I grow, what is moringa? I made some sambar with that today. And I have got a tree going in the backyard, It grows in any country. Probiotics with antibiotics. Every children who takes antibiotics, on the third day, they have got a loose motion because the antibiotic doesn't know that they are killing the good organisms in the intestine or they are killing the bad organisms. So there is a loose bowel movement. If you give them a probiotics, they are okay. But if there is no probiotics, they can take curd and rice. It is said that no South Indian can stay without curd and rice in their life. You cannot refuse them. There are a lot of things about steroid and discharge planning and food, but it's getting late, so I'm going to skip that. The next slide, please. You all are very lucky. In 2023, there is a person in Hyderabad, I think, or in Bangalore, Dr. Khadarwali. He got a prize for millets. By eating millets, you can create a delay of absorption of carbohydrate into the bloodstream because those millets, Sridhanya millets, comes with they are unpolished. So it takes around 2 hours to get absorbed into the body. If you eat 100 grams of rice, which will go into the bloodstream, carbohydrate will go into 75 grams, will go into the bloodstream and will make 30 grams of sugar within half an hour. If you eat millet, it takes around 2 hours. So you are creating a time release product in your stomach. I take millets, I take Sridhanya millets. It's helping me tremendously, Maybe in India it's selling too, but here it sells around $8 a pound, but people do buy it. Every medical store sells them now. And if you eat millet at least once a week, it is really good for the ecology. You will save a lot of water. Thank you so much. And if anybody has got any question, they can ask, or then otherwise you can send me WhatsApp. Thank you so much.
I'll wait for questions in the YouTube channel and we'll forward it to the speakers. Thank you very much, Dr. Madhav sir, for such an tremendous and excellent presentation and knowledge sharing for all the delegates, students, and faculty as well, making us know the importance of the medication profiles. We'll surely take your word and make it a habit for the students. We'll collect the medication profiles from each student of their families, sir. Thank you so much for the suggestion. We are noting it down, sir. Thank you so much again. Thank you for explaining us your real-time experience of the example case studies. That's a big example for us where we have learned a lot of things. And I'm sure that all the faculty members have taken the point that we should bring up the future community pharmacists who are service-oriented, sir. Thank you so much for all your suggestions. At the same time, I thank Dr. Ananthan Agappa, sir, for sparing your time with us. So before leaving for today's webinar, I request my colleague, Ms. Pavani, to extend vote of thanks.
I want to say one thing. Can I say one thing?
Yes, sir, please.
Yeah,
Yes,
yes,
sir,
sir.
please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please tell Sister Jyoti, because she said that enlighten, actually lights come within her. So in your college, there should not be any problem of doing these services. She can teach you guys more services you can think of, you know. So it's not that we are going to enlighten, but because you have got a person who is already enlightened, so you can get lights from her. So please thank her that she at least attended and she blessed me. Okay.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
sir.
sir. Thank you. We'll pass
Thank
the
you.
message to her if she's not available. Thank you so
Namaskar.
much, sir. We'll pass.
Namaskar.
Thank you, Asha madam. A very good morning to one and all. I, A. Pavani, Assistant Professor in Department of Pharmacology and Pharmacy Practice. It's my immense pleasure to propose a vote of thanks in this international webinar. I would like to thank our resource person, Dr. Anant Nayak, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your knowledge regarding pharmacy practice regulations and some of the inspiring stories. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And I would like to thank our resource person, Dr. Mahadev Bhatt, sir. Sir, thank you very much for sharing your knowledge regarding clinical impact and importance of community connect. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And it's time to thank our management, Sister U. Shaurili Garu, President of Nirma College of Pharmacy, and Secretary and Correspondent, Sister Nirmal Jyoti Garu, for providing an excellent opportunity for conducting the international webinar. Thank you so much. It's a time to thank our Honorable Principal Dr. Abdul Rahman sir for his continuous support and encouragement towards the conduction of this international webinar. Thank you very much, sir. And I would like to thank HOD of Department of Pharmacology and Pharmacy Practice, Dr. T. Vinay Kumar sir, for initiation to conduct this international webinar and coordinating the department staff, and finally successful of this international webinar. Thank you very much, sir, for your continuous efforts to completion of successful international program. And I would like to thank staff of Nirma College of Pharmacy and other college pharmacy staff and student delegates of Nirma College of Pharmacy and other student delegates. Thank each and everyone for attending this international webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, both the speakers. We hope we'll having future collaborations as well in the coming for the coming generations upliftment, sir. We would love to have your experience sharing with us. Thank you so much, sir.
Sure. Thank you so much. Bye.
A
Good luck
small
to
message
everybody.
thank you, sir. A small
Okay.
message to all the delegates. Your feedback link has been shared in the YouTube channel and also in the WhatsApp group. Please fill it. Thank you so much for joining with us. We'd like to conduct such sessions in the future also. So we would like to have all your collaborations and support in the future programs. Thank you so much. Your host signing off for today. Have a good day ahead.
You can give them my WhatsApp number, okay?
Hello.